Today is a daytime exclusive. The Sports Illustrated swimsuit model is speaking out after making international headlines with a shocking revelation that she was the victim of an alleged crime. And she's publicly revealing that a tiny tracking device, in fact, the one that I'm holding like this one in my hand, was slipped into her coat pocket while she was out with friends. Now, after making the frightening discovery, Brooks has learned that she's not alone. From California to Louisiana to Maine, people across the country and across the world are now sounding alarms about this new technology, with her own stories circulating and picking up a lot of traction on social media.
I was notified like 30 minutes ago that an AirTag was following me. Those of you who don't know, an AirTag is like an Apple device that tracks you via Bluetooth.
It freaks me out because it shows the exact location, like that red dot is literally where we parked.
The Apple AirTag is a popular new device designed to help locate frequently misplaced items. But that seemingly helpful tool is now being misused by some to track people.
I found a little tracking device behind my license plate.
Okay, so I think I'm being tracked, and the more I post about it, it seems like it's happening to a lot of people.
Sports Illustrated swimsuit model Brooks Nader recently became headline news when she revealed on Instagram that she is one of the many who say they were unknowingly tracked by an Apple AirTag.
Basically, I was at a bar. I was waiting on someone alone.
The 24-year-old says while out in Manhattan, someone slipped the device inside her coat pocket, then proceeded to monitor her movements around the city. It was only hours later that she was alerted something was amiss.
Halfway home, I got the notification that was like, someone's tracking you and has been for a while. So I freaked out, obviously.
Brooke rushed back home where she and her husband frantically searched her belongings, eventually discovering the AirTag hidden in her jacket.
It was the scariest moment ever.
Brooks Nader joins us for an exclusive interview. She is here in New York to discuss what she discovered and her warning for others. Brooks, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're hearing the story and you're willing to talk with me today.
Absolutely. When I heard news of this, I called my team immediately and I said, I have to talk to her. I want to know what happened and really bring attention to this because, as I pointed out, this is across the country. This is actually even internationally we're seeing and hearing these reports. But I want to go to that night with you. You had been hanging out with friends. You'd gone to a couple of spots in your neighborhood, and then you were walking home alone, and you got a message on the phone. What did that message say?
So basically it said, a device has been detected with you and it's been following you for a while. Never have I ever gotten this notification before. It was on the Find My app where you can track your family, your friends. So I have that app in my phone, but I never got a notification about a device being detected with me. Initially I was home alone on a dark street by myself. Panic, of course, set in, and I sent a screenshot to my husband immediately just to let him know what was going on in case something happened to me on my walk home, basically.
How far away were you from your home when you saw that notification?
I was probably like a 15-minute walk from the bar, and I was probably still 10 minutes away from home.
So that had to be a terrifying 10 minutes. You've now alerted your husband. You see this notification, but you still have a ways alone to make it home. If this is me, I'm looking around. I don't know what to do. What was your state of mind?
I did exactly that. I looked around me. I didn't see anybody on the street, which was almost scarier because, New York City is usually crowded with people, and I never feel unsafe because there's New Yorkers around and they always stick up for you. And, there was nobody around. So that was even freakier than, seeing somebody following me. I basically just started to run, also because I knew my husband was probably freaking out in full panic mode because I just sent him a screenshot. And then my phone died right after I sent the screenshot. So I was worried that he was probably freaking out as well.
So you made it home, obviously, you get there. And what made you start searching through your pocket and your belongings?
Well, actually, it took me a minute to get there. I posted it on my Instagram story, and immediately, and this was at like midnight, hundreds and hundreds of people are like, girl, this is an AirTag. This happened to me. This happened to my friend. You need to check your belongings. I was like, what the heck is an AirTag? So I go into my purse. There's nothing in my purse. I'm like still in my clothes from the night out. There's nothing in my jean pockets, nothing. And my husband's like, "What coat did you wear?" Because, I have a ton of coats. They're all hung up. I'd hung my coat up. And I was like, that one, he searches it and he finds it in like the front pocket. And he's like, "Is this yours?" I was like, "No, I've never seen that before." And it was the little white, ear tag. So obviously at that moment, his thought was, someone knows where our apartment is. These things are supposed to be super precise. He flipped out about the air tag being there, ran out the apartment to get rid of it. It was just, the whole night this was all happening at like midnight. So it was just such a scary realization.
I'll tell you, full disclosure, I saw your story. I just purchased this item because it seems like a useful thing. You lose your keys, you lose your phone, or even if you want to attach it to your child's backpack, it keeps track of things that only you should be able to track. Now, according to the Washington Post, there are other devices like this out there. There's a tile tracker. This was all a shock to you because at the point you reached out to folks on TikTok, you didn't even know about this.
Right. I had no idea. And everybody that I've talked to, half the people are like, "Thanks for posting about that. I didn't know that those things existed." And obviously, like you said, I've seen TikToks of moms putting them in their kids' shoes before their first day of school, or their backpacks, or their dogs' collars. And I get it. I get what it's meant to be used for. It's just crazy that people use it for that ill intent.
Brooks, we know that this is an issue around the country, around the world, and you heard from people who this had happened to as well. You did contact the police. What did they tell you?
I spoke to a detective on the phone. He, said he gave me his advice on what I should do. I basically then just went into the precinct and told them, "Hey guys, I don't know if you know about these AirTag devices, but I was tracked with one in New York City." And they asked a couple questions like, "Were you assaulted? Did you see the person? Do you know who it was?" And, I wasn't assaulted. I didn't see the person and I don't know who it was. So unfortunately, there wasn't that much that they could do about it. And they also had never heard, like you and I, about the AirTags.
We reached out to the NYPD and a spokesperson did tell us that they are looking further into this incident. Unfortunately, Brooks, I've done a crime show for many, many years, and it sounds like an issue where technology and criminals may be ahead of police, even in a large city like New York, because this is such new technology, if you will. Looking back, though, at that night, as you said, you were out with friends. This is not your state of mind. It reminds me so much of when people have reported someone slipping something in their drink. It's not where your mind is. You're not thinking, but in reflection, do you recall anyone in your space or bumping into you where it might have happened?
I was at the bar alone, sitting, facing the bartender, and my coat was, on my bar stool. I was meeting friends. I ran into friends that happened to be there. They came over, sat by me for a minute and then left. And, I was close to people at any bar. People were walking past me and, it was a busy night at that restaurant. I wasn't totally on my, like you said, on my guard and had my guard up because it was kind of just my neighborhood spot that I always go to. So I felt super comfortable. There were, a couple other guys eating alone next to me, drinking and eating alone. If I could go back and take a closer look and like really observe their behavior, or, see if they walked past me and slipped something, I think I could have caught something, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary that stuck out to me that night. It was literally like a Wednesday night. It was just such a random night. I wasn't even planning to go out. I just, missed New York. I just gotten back from the holidays and wanted to go to my neighborhood spot, basically.
Right. Yeah, no, you did nothing wrong. You're living your life. It's again, these nefarious elements that can be lurking and we not know, and they use technology to take advantage. But by the way, we reached out to Apple, who told us that they take customer safety very seriously, and they gave us a statement in part saying AirTag is designed with a set of proactive features to discourage unwanted tracking. First in the industry that both inform users if an unknown AirTag might be with them and deter bad actors from using an AirTag for nefarious purposes. Brooks, hearing that statement that Apple believes it has a proactive approach to this, how do you feel now?
I will say that the silver lining of the situation is that I was actually notified. I don't think that's the case with some of the other tracking devices. And I spoke to a detective who said, tracking devices aren't anything new. He hadn't heard of the AirTag actually either. But he's like, tracking devices have existed and they have been used for nefarious purposes for a long time. But the silver lining of the situation is that I have an iPhone. I was notified. And to Apple's point, that is a helpful feature, I think.
Brooks, I'm so happy you are safe, and I'm happy that you used your platform to sound the alarm to other people out there. We appreciate you joining us, and please stay safe, Brooks.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to talk to you about this.